Good afternoon and happy Sunday. Thank you for joining us for the fourth installment of our 7 years of Rising Up commemoration of our 7th year anniversary for Moms of Black Boys United. I am super excited to be joined today by Dallas Townsend, as well as his mother, Lorianne. Hi, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Hi.
So this is, we're talking to individuals who are doing great things in the community. And this installment means a lot to me just by itself because, one of the things that we do here at Mob United is we highlight our exceptional young men each year in April for Autism Awareness Acceptance Month. And so Dallas is on the autism spectrum and he is doing amazing things. And so I am just elated to have an opportunity to talk to him. But before we get started, I just want to hear a little bit more about his background, things that Dallas is not going to remember. So, Lorianne, tell us about, when Dallas was born and, how he was with milestones and coming up and when you actually got a diagnosis of autism for him.
Well, Dallas was he was always a quiet kid. Very, very intelligent. He loved puzzles, always loved puzzles. He loved to read books a lot, but he was very, very quiet. And I just thought, hey, my kid don't want to say much. Maybe he'll just be like this. Well, he had a teacher, Miss Van Meter. We love her. We still are in contact with her, but she noticed him in second grade. And they kind of started to track everything with him. And by the time he got to fifth grade, he was 10 years old. And she said, hey, I want to have him tested. She says, I don't want to offend you or anything. And I said, no, I'm not offended. I said, because if y'all are seeing this and y'all are with him, more days than in the daytime, why not? So we took him there. He got tested. He was nervous that day and he was like, are you going to come back and get me? And I had to leave my keys at the testing place. I said, I'm going to give you the keys. I have to come back and get these keys. So that means I'm going to come back and get you. He said, okay, I'll stay. But he was 10 when we found out, and he was diagnosed as high functioning autistic. He has underlying Asperger's. So he's very good with numbers as well.
Okay. And 10 years is a long time, right? So he was meeting milestones. He was good with numbers. You said he liked puzzles. He
Yes.
was being promoted from grade to grade, and there wasn't any indication that he was exceptional in any way to you. You just thought he was quiet.
The only thing that I noticed and what stands out is his comprehension. So that's where he has some issues, is comprehension. He gets it, but he may have to read it several times. So
Okay.
that's the only thing where he lacked in is comprehension.
And when he was in school, was he receiving, up until his diagnosis, was he receiving any support from school? Did he have any special education services, anything like that?
He didn't have anything from pre-K until they diagnosed him in fifth grade. He didn't have anything. Just it was his parents and him.
Okay.
And I stayed on him, homework, doing everything. We're like, hey, we're gonna get this. Hey, we have this. So it was us until we found out what was actually going on.
So that leads us into this conversation, right? We're commemorating 7 years of Rising Up Dallas. And how awesome is it that despite having some challenges, you were still able to manage all of the things related to school and do what? Why are we talking? Tell us why we're talking today.
I guess just I had to understand myself a bit more just to just to get used to that fact and just pushing through and just getting through it.
And your mom described you as quiet, but then you got into this program and started doing what?
Well, it just it was a lot for me to take in at first, but then people like my mom, she just taught me how to be better and be a better person and speak up for myself.
Okay. And then you started learning Chinese.
And yes,
Do you like Chinese?
yes, I like Chinese.
Yes, he changed schools. So after fifth grade, the school that he was at, they were still adding grades, but they weren't sure. So I had to find a different school for him to go to. And I I just kind of came into Isle, Texas. We had bought a home and I was like, okay, here's a school right here. Let's see what it's about. So I enrolled him there. And it just so happens they had they taught Spanish and they teach Chinese. Well, he found a love of Chinese. He has to do the Spanish, but he found a love in Chinese. So he's been doing that since 6th grade. And this year he will be a senior graduating in May. So he's been learning the Chinese language since he was 6th grade.
Now, it is said that Chinese is one of the hardest languages to learn, right?
Yes.
So how do you manage that? The symbols and, I mean, I guess in Chinese they're words, but to us they look like symbols. So what was like that first introduction like? What was it that made you gravitate to Chinese?
Well, it was just the background of it, the culture and stuff. Like it was just really amazing to me, and just to remember the characters and all that. We just had to just look very carefully into it.
Mhm. And what is your favorite part of learning the language?
Meeting new people and just communicating with them and seeing what their thoughts on it is about.
Planning to visit China?
Mm, I can't. After what happened?
Oh, God.
Mm.
I hear you. I hear you. I understand.
To me, I think it's his love of anime as well. He likes the anime and he can draw very well. So
Okay.
I think that kind of made him gravitate to it as well because he loves to draw. He can draw the characters free-handedly. So I think that's what kind of really pushed him on to like, hey, I like this. He won't say, but I kind of watch him and see what he does. But he does have a love. He has a love of anime.
Okay. And so you've done so well that you had an opportunity to participate in the program just this summer, actually just coming back this week. So tell us a little bit about the program.
The program, it kind of just it helped me a lot
Mhm.
just to understand more and more about the language itself.
Mhm.
And the teachers were nice too. There's different levels where you could practice, and if it was too hard, you could just move down or up a level.
Okay.
And
And
so
where was the program?
it was in Mississippi.
Did you go by yourself?
No, there was three other of my friends that went too.
Mhm. Okay. So was that Ole Miss, right? The college?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the purpose of the program? Was it just to practice Chinese or what was it? What was the reason why you were there?
It was not only just to practice the language, but to also like look at like the culture, like how it is, how people do things in different areas.
Okay. And what came out of the program? Did you get college credit or have you
Yes.
earned any college dollars, scholarships for school because of participating in the program?
Yes.
Okay. Mom, you want to tell us a little bit more about the program, how he got in and where he can go with that from there?
Oh yeah. Well, at their school, they're always looking at everyone at their academic levels. Him and there were about 70 other children. They're amongst the top uh, in Chinese language. Dallas was chosen to take the opportunity, and I was a little bit afraid at first, and I said, "Oh gosh," but I just took a leap of faith. I was like, "Okay, you're going to be gone a whole month. Do you want to do this?" I talked to him about it, but in turn, he ended up getting 6 college credits. We will get the emails, but they did do scholarships for them. and other colleges were there just to talk to them about it. He was interested in Ole Miss, and he's also interested in Alcorn. So I'm excited about that because I was like, okay, which one are you gonna pick?
That's right. So when you
So
get there, when you get to college, what do you plan on studying? Do you plan on continuing with Chinese language studies?
I mean, it depends like what the situation is. I mean, I'll still study Chinese
Mhm.
just to just just to understand the type of situations I have to deal with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to major in college?
Mm,
Do you know?
engineering.
And what do you want to do when you grow up in terms of engineering? Do you know that?
Well, I thought about becoming a tech analysis.
Okay. What is that? I don't know what that is.
It's you it's like you help people online with different types of technical problems.
Okay. So do you want to share some Chinese with us?
Um,
you can share a
sure.
few sentences. Go ahead and
Yeah.
let her know what they are. But
All right. Mm, 我我喜欢吃汉堡. That means I like to eat hamburgers.
Okay.
what else? Do you want to give her some more? A different one?
Mm, Um, 我我喜我喜欢跑步和读书. And that means I like to run and read.
Okay. So do you really like to run and read?
Yeah, when I have enough free time.
Okay. So what else do you do besides speak Chinese? So you said what when you have enough free time. So I know you have siblings at home, right? What else do you do? Do you practice Chinese with your siblings?
Yeah,
Ah, that little
yeah,
one. You want to tell her about Dylan?
yeah. Dylan, my little brother,
Mhm.
he he also practices Chinese
Mhm.
at another school, and I just expect for him to do as good as just do as good as I do.
Mhm.
I only hope for the best of him, for the best for him.
Okay.
Awesome. Wow.
So you have someone to practice with at home.
Yes.
Okay. So
Wow.
one of the things that Lorianne we talk about a lot is the feeling of like we get labeled like helicopter moms and that kind of thing. This was the
Yes,
first
ma'am.
time that your boy left you and traveled on his own. What was that like? If you had to encourage other moms with sons on the spectrum, what would you tell them? And what advice would you have for them?
I was a nervous, crazy lady. I called him 3, 4, 5 times a day. And I was like, look, we're gonna FaceTime so I can see your face. I want to make sure you're okay. I want to make sure you're not sick, how you're feeling. But I would tell any other mom and I do have a couple of friends who have children that are on the spectrum, and I tell them, I'm like, hey, don't let people tell you your child can't do something. I was like, I had been told, oh, he won't do this, or oh, he won't go here, or he can't. He left for a whole month, and it can be done. It's not right away, but from age 10 to 18, I watched my kid now. Hey, he's gone. And he did something. He washed his own clothes. He made his own food. Trips to Walmart. He was shopping, swiping his own card and buying groceries or little things to have in the room so it can be done. And I tell people it's up to you to advocate. So no one's going to advocate for your kid like yourself. Yes, they tell you or say, "Hey, we're here," or no, you got to jump in there because they're only going to tell you so much. It'll be up to you to ask. It'll be up to you. What can I do next? What does this mean? And not just sit back and let them feed something to you. You have to look at it as well, or they'll just be stuck. And I didn't want him to be stuck. I want him to do things because I know he can. And it's up to me to help still sit behind. I push him out, but I'm still behind going, okay, let's try this. Well, I don't understand this. Well, how can I help you do this? I don't want him to just be stuck in a box because he's out of it now. And he's like, okay, what's next, mom? What are we doing? I was like, hey, whatever you want to do, we'll go at your pace. But
Okay.
it's up to the parents to really advocate for their kids.
We talk a lot about transition services and the next steps when our kiddos leave high school, where he's not on services, but there's the potential for him to have some, significant amount of services. Do you plan on letting whatever college he goes to know that he's on the spectrum?
The school that he's at, IO Texas, they do have that. I've gotten letters. I filled them out.
Mhm.
So wherever he may go or choose to go, however long it takes him, it will follow him and they will have notifications of it. So I was very thankful for that because they do stay up to date with that and they do offer it. So I was very impressed by that because some people, once they graduate, they're like, oh, okay, well, they're not here. You'll have to fill this out or you'll have to try this, but they offer it for you and they send it out for you. So I was very impressed for that.
Mhm. We do have a couple questions for you, Dallas. Uh, Someone wants to know whether or not you're able to read and write the characters.
Yeah, it's really difficult to write the characters, but you just got to get to the habit in writing them,
Okay.
and just specific characters that you have to memorize in order to like make actual sentences, or they're gonna come out in like an entirely like different sentence, like, and it may end up offending people, and you just gotta watch out for that.
Okay. So we also know that you've learned some Spanish. Of English, Spanish, and Chinese, which one is your favorite language?
Mm, Mostly Chinese.
Okay. Okay. And when you go, do you ever go to Chinese restaurants? Do you have an
No,
opportunity in your community to ever practice your Chinese outside of school?
well, well. I mean, I get a few questions about how I memorize like the characters and stuff and how to create sentences. And you know,
Sometimes
I
family
just
ask him, they'll say, hey, how do you say this? Or how's it going with Chinese? So he ends up saying some things with family.
yeah.
Uh, But we haven't really been outside where he has to say, oh, I know what they're saying. Or can I say something? I'm like, oh, I don't know how that'll go, but maybe one day we'll try it. Maybe we'll take him out and see how that goes at a restaurant and see what he can do or if he can read it. Because so I know some menus offer English and Chinese on their menus. So
Another question is, um, have you ever considered a a job that has you blend the Chinese with that engineering that you want to do, like Chinese speaking analyst or working for like the FBI? Have you ever thought about that?
I mean, sometimes, yeah, I have thought about it.
Is it something that you would want to explore?
And I mean, yeah, if the opportunity comes around.
okay, that's new.
Look, your mom is learning some new things about you.
Oh yeah, that's new. And I'd be like, okay, go for it. We're here. Where are we going?
So I asked your mom, what's next, what supports, but if you had advice for kiddos who are like you, people who, you have to do things a little bit differently or it might take you a little longer. If you have advice for other young boys, young adult boys, or even younger than you out there who want to try something new, something that many would think is difficult, what would you tell them, Dallas?
I would just say you would have to like just step out of your comfort zone a little bit and just try different things. If it makes you uncomfortable, then you just gotta learn to accept that and just try to understand other people's feelings first and to
Okay.
understand yourself on a deeper level. And it's not gonna be easy, of course, but it's just something that you have to get used to and just having that feeling of just being yourself.
What are some of the things that you do when you're feeling uncomfortable? How do you kind of come back to center?
I just think about the things that I love the most and it puts me on track.
Mhm. And what are some of those things that you love the most?
And just think about the people that I love, the things that I love to do, and it puts me on that mindset just to keep on going and pushing through.
All right. Well, I don't have any additional questions. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. We are talking about individuals who are rising up, and some of those people are doing these big, big things where TV cameras are involved. But I love your story, Dallas. I love the fact that, you're a hero at home. You are a young man who didn't even know that you were on the spectrum and didn't know why you may have been a little bit different, but that you didn't let that stop you. And so I just want to congratulate you on all of the awesome things that you're doing. And I look forward to seeing what you do in the future. You gotta let me know what school you choose. You let all the Mob United aunties know where you end up and what you
Yes,
plan
indeed.
in the future. And we certainly do look forward to seeing your continued rise up because you're a certain. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I know this was a little bit uncomfortable for you, so I am so appreciative of you kind of, like you said, stepping out your comfort zone and doing your very first live. And I have a feeling it's not going to be your last one.
Did you want to tell her something before we end?
Mm.
Thank you.
Shie.
Is that thank you?
Yes.
I'm going to hit you
And
with a little bit of Spanish and say de nada.
That's it. She said, "You're welcome."
All right, you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you so much again, Lorianne, for sharing his
Thank
story,
you.
Dallas for joining us, and we look forward again to seeing all of the great things that you do in the future.
Thank you, Miss Kim.
Zai Jin.
Bye-bye.